All
Okay.
right, we are live. All right, hello everyone. Hello everyone. I guess I'll just start off how I normally start off, right? I know this is not really an Everyday Heroes podcast. You know what I'm saying? But I would like to introduce Ashley Collins on the show. This is Everyday Heroes, along with Ashley Collins, just gonna have an open discussion on relationships. So while we're on here, if you have any questions on relationships, type it down there. Let us know. You know what I'm saying? We're all open ears right now. But until then, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and bounce some ideas off each other. I want to pass it over to Ashley. Let her kind of kick off some topics.
So obviously, first of all, we're going to talk about the Red Table Talk. I'm sure you've already seen it.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on? Well, okay, so I guess go over a little bit for people who haven't seen it yet without. I mean, spoilers, obviously spoilers. So, go over a little brief discussion of what you observed and what are your thoughts on it.
All right. All right. So my thoughts on it is that it does take a grown man. It does take a very mature man to really accept what happened and to really take that on camera like that. Um, you know, uh, I really feel like uh, the way it happened and everything, and the way it was talked about, I thought it was cool, but I also felt like Jada really never admitted to anything. She said they had an entanglement. I've never heard of that term with from a woman before. Uh, then again, I've really never been cheated on before that I know of. So I would know what those conversations are like, really. But that was kind of funny to me. Um, I could tell Will was hurt by it. But I could also tell that, just reading between the lines, the way the conversation ended, I could tell that Jada was probably hurt because Will was doing the same kind of things. Although it may not have come out as much, but the whole thing at the end where Will says something like, I got to get you back for this. And then if you really read between the lines, yes, we're talking about Will and Jada, Dwayne. If you really read between the lines on what was said there, when she said, "Oh, I'm sure you got plenty of that," and he didn't really own up to what he was doing, you could kind of tell like there was some things going on beyond what we know, and that was going on in their relationships. It's been kind of I don't know if it's been confirmed, but it's kind of been a rumor that they were swingers, and Will Smith went both ways and all kind of stuff. So I'm not too sure what to think about that. I don't know if anything's been confirmed on that, but I do know that that relationship has definitely been tested. So sorry if I got a little bit long winded, but what do you think, Ashley?
Not long winded at all. I mean, their relationship has always kind of been public-ish, if you really think about it, way more public than any other celebrity relationship that you've ever seen in Hollywood. If you really think about it,
Really?
like if you really think about think of a celebrity couple who you know a lot of information about,
Uh-huh.
other than Angelina Jolie, but then like her stuff has always been like leaked outside of her privacy, you know.
Mhm.
Other than that, it's always been like Will and Jada, and that
Okay.
I didn't want to watch the Red Table Talk because like I knew I would get emotional watching it, but my friend was
Mm.
like, "You gotta watch, you gotta watch, you gotta watch it." And I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." It was only 12 minutes, and you can definitely tell she was very, very, very careful with her words.
Yes.
She should be a lawyer. She should be a politician. She is
Mm.
very, very meticulous with her image,
Mhm.
with how she wants people to perceive her,
Mhm.
which is obviously like that's her brand, like this is something that I'm
Yeah.
trying to cope with myself, like as someone who is very authentic. At least I like to think that I am. um there's a difference between being authentic and being professional,
Yes, I
and
agree.
some people have yeah, I didn't know that. you
Yep.
know so like I'm trying to be not judgmental of her, you know because you can tell like Will was trying to pull it from her. He was trying to pull it from her, and she's like, "No, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not going to go there."
She was
Like, I'm
willing to take that. She's willing to take that to the grave. Sorry, but
yeah.
go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you can tell that they're both very looking at their eyes, they're both very, very hurting from this, and not because of their image, because they're rich. Like,
Uh huh.
if we stop watching their movies, it doesn't matter. Like, they'll be like, they'll be set, they'll be straight. It's more of
Hmm.
like, you could tell in their eyes, it's like, I'm sorry that we had to go through this,
Right. Right.
and I'm sorry that
I
we had to live through this again.
I have to agree with that. Now, I see JB Written had joined here. Definitely, shout out to JB Written, a part of Everyday Heroes podcast. We're kind of limited on how many people we can have on the IG Live and this at the same time, so bear with us on that. We'll figure it out eventually. We're talking about the Will and Jada situation, JB. If you got any questions or any kind of comments on that, we're just about wrapping that up. But definitely welcome to the chat. Definitely welcome, Dwayne. Appreciate you guys being in the show. All right. So, any final comments in regards to that?
Do you doubt that they love each other?
I think they love each other. To the point that it hurts, and I think honestly that relationship is just a little bit more toxic than what we probably realize. Um, but it is what it is, and all I can say is that couldn't be me in that situation. So, um,
But okay, so I've been saying that, and people have been like, "You're being judgmental." But then why do you say that it couldn't be you?
because I have boundaries for myself and I set boundaries for our relationship, and if those things are broken, then I'm just not cool with that. I'm not saying some boundaries that I have that are broken, that I couldn't deal with and move past, but there's certain things with me that are a little bit too far and a little bit too extreme, that I just really wouldn't want to live that way if that's the way you're gonna act or if that's the way you're gonna do things. So, um, that's why I say that.
Um, you said his name is J Dog.
No, that's JB. That's Joe.
Joe, Joe. He said open love is complicated and it almost never works.
It's very complicated. I've never been in an open love relationship, but I do know people that have been in an open love relationship, and let me tell you, it is awkward. It is very awkward hanging around those kind of people. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. You have something to say?
No, I was gonna ask. It's awkward for them, or awkward for you.
Awkward for me.
Mm-hmm.
Awkward for me. I've been approached by couples that were in open relationships. I've been asked things, favors and stuff like that, and those are the kind of things I just choose not to participate in, really.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, just for me, it's just awkward for me. But I'm not. I don't think it's weird. In a sense of like, I won't judge you by it, just know that I don't get down like that. So,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I don't mind if y'all talk about it and stuff around me, but don't come to me my way about it, because then you're gonna make our friendship awkward. I've been in those kind of situations before.
Yeah, I remember being in a room with some people who had that kind of lifestyle, and I was kind of like, "Do you guys really like each other? Because I feel like you guys don't." You know, like, I feel like you guys are just
Hmm.
roommates who just call
Hmm.
each other boyfriend and girlfriend. You know, like, but
Yeah.
on a non-judgmental way, um, I was venting to a friend about this, and
Uh
like,
huh.
I guess I'm kind of skipping to what we originally were going to talk about,
Uh huh.
where okay, I'm just gonna say it. So I was venting to a friend about this like last weekend,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't get it, because for me, I'm
Hmm.
extremely monogamous. Like, for me, when I'm dating someone, like, my focus is entirely on you. I don't look at him, her, whatever. Like, I find
Right.
you attractive. I only desire and want you, you
Correct.
know? So it kind of hurts me when your eye wanders and you're like, I wonder what it would be like to be with her for a night. And it's like, oh, what am I doing
Hmm.
wrong? You
Right.
know? Like, do you not find me physically attractive? What do I need to work on about myself? It's really
Yeah.
hard because we really love, and then the person isn't there, but everything else is sort of, okay. Do you want to read it? Do you want me to read it?
All right. So we have a question here from Ball and Y1. that says it's really hard because sometimes you can be in love and the other person isn't there, but everything else is set for love for the other person. So that's a little deep. That's a little deep.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I feel like Ballin, like you're kind of feeling you're explaining what the situation that I was in, where like I was giving my all to him, but there was no love given to me. He didn't feel basically he didn't feel the same way that I felt about him. So
Okay.
and that
Mhm.
hurts. And that hurts a lot.
Yeah, and he follows that up with a lot of time as the other person, which could be true. Sometimes, in relationships, relationships ain't easy, and they're not. Nobody is ever. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't think anybody is exactly 100% compatible. To the point where y'all get in a relationship and y'all don't have any sort of disagreements.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
but sometimes, with me, I have to look deep inside myself and see, okay, did I sweep around my own front door before I swept around somebody else's? Did I try to put myself in that person's shoes on how they feel versus just how I feel? Because at the end of the day, you could feel a certain kind of way, but maybe the way you're feeling is maybe too strong. Maybe the way you're feeling, is not really taking in consideration how that person could be feeling.
Yeah.
So those kind of things in relationships happen often. So we just have to really, be patient. We have to be willing to be patient. And the whole, cutting somebody off because of this, that, and the other, you know, you never know sometimes what people are really going through. Um, and you just gotta really just try to put yourself in other people's shoes sometimes and be patient with it.
Mm,
I don't know. That's the way I feel about it.
okay.
But anyway, so we were talking about Will and Jada and everything. So we pretty much wrapped that up. I feel like,
Well, what they've said before that they weren't ready for marriage, and like in like previous talks together. But I mean, like, I've never been married before, so I can't say like marriage is hard.
right.
I think that for our generation, that like there's a lot of distractions out there. There's lots of temptations. There's lots of bickerings in your ears, being like, do this, do this, and do that. Like, and also she also commented on a previous Red Table Talk that she felt like he was being so focused on his career that he wasn't being a very good father, and that made her
Mm,
very bitter.
mm. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of things going on that, like I said,
yeah.
I don't
This is
watch
a
the
clean
Red
link.
Table, but
Yeah,
now let me just ask this question, guys, because I don't have a clue. I really don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I know who Jada Pickett is, but I really don't know who she is. So excuse me, guys. You know what I'm saying, for my ignorance. What is this whole Red Table thing? Is that like a show that she has or something? Like,
I'm
what's this?
so offended.
Why? Why are
I'm
you offended?
I'm so offended. Everyone knows the
Why?
Red Table Talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I just don't watch Jada. I don't know really who she is. Besides being Will Smith's wife. I mean, I'm being honest. Like, I'm not even trying to be like rude about it. I don't know. But I need to educate myself more on who she is. I mean, it's important.
No, no, it's good. It's all good. That's so funny. No, this is honestly no, I love it. Okay. So you obviously know that she was an actress before she even met Will. Obviously, you know
I
that.
just I just found out like yesterday or 2 days ago that she dated Tupac. Didn't know that.
What? What? Okay.
Hey,
So you know
JB is in here. He the one that told me.
JB, educate him more, JB. So you know the movie with Queen Latifah, aka Fox, Kimberly Elise set it off, right?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, she was in that. She was the girl who lived at the end. The one who shaved
Oh
her head
yeah.
off? Yeah, yeah. Oh my god,
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
cry every time being watching that. But
That's a cold movie.
you're so funny.
Marriage is marriage, and if you don't want to keep it 100, then don't get married. Or this is what happens.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly. If you're not gonna be authentic, don't get into a relationship. But okay. So she once she kind of married Will, like everything's got like dead silence for like
Yeah.
20 years. And
Really.
then
That's probably
yeah,
why I
yeah.
don't really know her like that.
No, seriously, honestly. And for me, I suspect a little bit of jealousy in there because she's an extremely talented actress. Very talented. And it's like for me, I would feel maybe it's my ego. I would feel some type of way if someone was like, "Oh, you're Will Smith's wife." It's like, "No. No. I'm Jada Pinkett. I have this, I've done this and this and that and that and that and that. I'm not just someone's wife." You
Hmm.
know? So she came back on the come up with this show called The Red Table Talk. It is
Okay.
primarily catered towards women audience.
Hmm.
Um I wouldn't say only women of color because she's had people of multiple colors on there. They talk about their shame, their vulnerability. She's had a couple of
Mm,
men on there as well, but this is like super new. This is
mm.
like only 2 years old though, only 2 years old. But
Okay.
it's one of the first shows on Facebook Watch.
Okay.
But
Okay.
if you don't have Facebook Watch though, then like it's kind of like no one watches Facebook Watch. So
Yeah, I agree with
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of bad marketing, but I do think
that.
this is gonna definitely blow up her following for sure. Because she is very talented. She's speaking from a place of vulnerability. She does it with her daughter and with her mom. So it's awkward ish, but it's also kind of like very truthful.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have to, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting educated, so I have to tune in. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be real with you. So we got a couple comments, well, relationships are hard, so marriage is marriage. Uh-huh. It says entanglement, keyword entanglement for this whole thing.
Oh, and you
Um,
YouTube. Okay, okay.
and then we got JB saying I think relationships are are different from marriage. You can cheat in a relationship and it's still not right, but definitely not right in marriage. And uh Dwayne facts. And that's true. That's true. I mean, I'm not saying, cheating in a relationship in a regular relationship is okay,
No.
but definitely not in a marriage. So you know, um
But
so I guess we
but is it okay if you if there's a verbal agreement of where it's like, go ahead, do what you want to do. Just make sure you come home to me.
well, you have to eat that then. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You have to eat
Hmm.
that. If
Hmm.
you said it, you have to eat it. As far as that goes, I can understand certain things may come out or whatever that you may not have meant to say, but things like that is something you have to really think all the way through. And
Mhm.
I would never say that if I didn't think it all the way through. So if you say that and then he goes out there and does that, he's got to eat that.
Mhm.
Said not in a marriage. True.
No, I agree. Not you and I see eye to eye, but I think we're the only people in the world who think this way. Only us three think this way. Everyone else is like, oh well, do sleep with whoever you want. I'm like, no, what? I would
Yeah.
never, I would never allow my husband to be like, I'm feeling like I want to sleep with someone else. I'd be like, okay, cool. Where are the divorce papers?
Right, right, right. Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, that was a good topic. Anything else we got on this topic
Oh,
with
um, I'm gonna definitely follow her more often because I think what they did was extremely brave. I like I do think that she was being very careful with her words, like I said before. But
yeah.
regardless, that was I can't that was terrifying. I can't imagine being that in that spot.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that. I mean, when I watched it,
Ooh, he is a good question.
he said you put that in there, you have to either. Does Will Smith have the right to be mad? It depends on. Hey,
Because
that's real. That's real. That's real, Dwayne. If you put that, you got to eat that. So to JB's question, it says, "Does Will Smith have the right to be mad?" Um, What do you think?
I mean, you're doing the same thing too, but like you just your girl just didn't say anything out loud.
Yeah, I have to concur with that. I mean, he really can't be mad. Like if he's been doing it, he really can't be mad about the situation. And if he did tell her, "Hey, go on, do what you gonna do, and you go find your happiness, and then come back to me," then he really can't be mad. Go ahead.
But then some guys will say that, and then they'll be like, "Okay, but I said that, but I meant like go on like a eat, pray, love trip. I didn't mean sleep with someone else."
Hey, look, I don't know what these other guys are like and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems to me like a lot of women just seem like I'm just an alien or something. If
You
I say that,
are,
if
you
I say that
are.
shit, you know what I'm saying? I meant it. Like, go out there and do what you're gonna do, because I'm about done with you.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm about to be 31 in a month.
Oh, we're the same age. Okay,
Yeah,
but you don't realize that you are what's the what do they say in Aladdin? You guys don't know. You guys don't watch Disney movies. You are.
the diamond in the rough or something like that. Or
Why do you know that? I love that you knew that though.
I
I love
I I,
it.
wa- I watch cartoons quite a bit to escape reality, but that's
To
a whole
escape
nother
reality.
story
You're so
within
funny.
itself.
You're so funny.
It
Y'all,
is real
oh,
out here.
I'm gonna fight you. Where do you live? But you are though, because because
Yeah,
there's a lot of people our age in general who are
yeah,
all about like, oh, let's date this person, this person, and let's go with the flow. And like for me, it's like first of all, I'm all about being clean. I would
yeah.
like to not get an STD. You know, like I have a under a rock. You watch Aladdin too. Like for me, I have a latex sensitivity. So like having intercourse with condoms is very uncomfortable for me. So it's
Okay.
like I don't like having sex with strangers. Like I'm not
Yeah,
going to go on Tinder and like have sex with a stranger because it's like one, it's me uncomfortable. Two, like I don't want to
right.
risk that thing because I for some reason I think people are like COVID. But it's like, oh no, but like gonorrhea still exists. You know, like you know. So it's like. Mm,
You got a point. You got a
yeah,
point.
yeah.
So I think we really did this topic
Sorry.
justice. I
Okay,
really
yeah.
do.
No, yeah, right.
And so I guess we'll pass it back to Ashley. Any other topics or anything we have on the menu?
So, do you think they should stay married or just be co-parents?
I think they're already just co-parents. I don't. I mean,
Oh, that's
they're
sad.
they're they're married co-parents. You know what I'm saying? That's the way
Um,
I feel like they are. They're married. They're just cheaper to keep her, cheaper to keep him, kind of thing. And I think that's where they're at. Because otherwise, I don't see why they were so choosy with their words. It seems like if that one word slips out, divorce papers is coming up, and somebody's getting half.
that's
You
sad.
know. That's the way I feel about it. I think they're already in a co-parent, marriage relationship. But if they can deal with that, they can deal with that. Uh, you know, that's all I have to say about that. Any thoughts on that, Ashley?
Um, that makes me sad. Cause just his last words to her were when she said that I never thought that someone would love me unconditionally like that. It made me hopeful. But okay, so my question for you is, how long have you been doing what you're doing with your channel?
So we actually been doing this for about a year now. Me and JB Written, he's also in the chat. We're doing it about a year now. We've been doing okay.
You've been doing
We're
okay. Are you kidding?
you
Don't
know, we're,
be
we're doing
timid. You guys are doing freaking great. Are you kidding?
I appreciate it. We have a lot coming in the works actually. I appreciate that. And I see you doing your thing on your channel too. But yeah, we've been doing this for about a year. We're getting more numbers now. We're getting some marketing things in place. We got music coming out, which sometimes we play during IG live sessions and everything. So that pretty much wraps up like what we've been doing and how
What
long we've
what
been on.
what what made you want to get started doing this?
And honestly, I have to say it was JB. He brought the idea up.
Wait, is that is that Joe Brown?
Yeah, I said that was Joe.
That's
Everything.
Joe Brown.
Yeah.
Joe Brown. Hello. I didn't know that was Joe Brown.
Yeah.
No, we have a history together.
Okay,
So
I got you. A history.
yes.
So, so, you know, man. Anyway, so, yeah, we're ranked on Google. We're ranked on Google. So, follow us at Everyday Heroes. So can you ask me that question again? Because we kind of got off a little bit.
So what made you specifically get started
Mm.
with doing this?
So, I don't want to make this too long of a story, but long story short, I have experience with having a successful podcast called Step Your Game Up Podcast. I started it from 2006 till 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did it for a pretty, for a long while. And, JB came up to me maybe a year or two ago, and he said, "Hey, I want to make a channel, laid out an outline for me." And I said, "Okay, well, I can do the audio engineering part, plus I can help host it, whatever. Maybe we could work together and find some guests and then just take it from there, see where it takes us." We were already collaborating and doing music already. So the next thing was, since we are working on music, let's work on a podcast together. So that kind of inspired us. We didn't really, I knew we were going to talk about, like a lot of like black owned businesses and things like that. But we didn't know we were going to take certain things a certain kind of way and kind of go the route we were going. So that's what really inspired me. It really came from him, kind of, just giving me the idea and me helping pushing the dream.
Wow.
You said, JB said you need to be on our show again. Yes,
I
well, she
do
is on the
because
show again.
because you
Mhm.
guys need some feminine energy in there. There's too much masculine energy on your show. You need some feminine opinions.
Well, yeah, well, she could be on another one of our shows. You were a great guest the last time you came on. Beautiful shows, great shows. Our masculinity has toned down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's toned down a little bit. It's just me and JB now, or So John Jay, he's got some other things he's dealing with in life, so he decided to kind of step down, and we're just kind of carrying the flame from there. So let's tone down a little bit now. It's just me and him, but definitely, you're welcome anytime on the show. Definitely.
So what are your thoughts? Feel free. You're so stupid. Don't now you're making it obvious, bro. Now you're putting me on the red table.
Oh man, hold on. Did we need the Everyday Heroes table? Did we need
We didn't
the
ever
table?
say but and forgive me if you don't want to talk about this right now, say next subject. What are your thoughts on the Black Lives Matter movement with the police brutality right now, present tense? If you're watching this right now, in the future, right now it's July
Mhm.
2020. I don't know why there was a question mark. It is July 2020. um lots of things have gone on. So what are your thoughts on with the Black Lives Matter and police brutality? What are your thoughts on that?
So I want to start off by saying this. To the people out there that have commented to me and have told me things like you haven't been saying this since George Floyd got killed and stuff like that. Let me just set y'all straight. And Google Everyday Heroes, and you can see some of our very first podcasts for over a year. I've been talking about these things, and so has JB, and
You have.
so have has John Jay when he was on the show. So that's the first thing, and that goes out to quite a few people that have been kind of throwing my name out there, saying that I just started talking about this stuff. So my thoughts on it is this. Yeah. So my thoughts on it is this. Black Lives Matter movement, I like it. Although the movement is not owned by black people, and
That
it's
part. That
you know
part.
I like it because we can't push this movement without them. That's just the honest truth. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we have them with us, that's great. I don't like the fact, and I'll give JB some credit on this as well. Conspiracy on what, Dwayne?
Ooh.
Um, Conspiracy on what? We'll talk about that. We can get into it. But credit to JB. He's told me before, and I have to agree with him that I don't like the fact, and he doesn't like the fact that the Black Lives Matter movement can be joined by anyone. It's nothing really special about it. If you want to go join an organization such as Freemasons, such as Nation of Islam, KKK, you have to make some kind of certification for it. There's people out there that screaming Black Lives Matter but don't really know what they're screaming it for. It's
Hmm.
no different than somebody joining the church but really not knowing what they're joining the church for. It's no different from somebody really joining the military and not really know what they're fighting for until they get into it. So the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Go ahead.
No, keep going.
Yeah. So yes, definitely, Dwayne. Rest in peace, George Floyd. What's his conspiracy on that? Because I can get into some conspiracies on that too. Um, but yeah, the Black Lives Matter movement, like I said, I like it. But in the grand scheme of things, is it really benefiting us? You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to set a standard to be able to scream Black Lives Matter because there's people out there talking about it, but they really don't know what they're talking about. They really don't know what they're marching for. There's people out there, white people. I'm not just gonna say black, white people out that are marching out there and actually dying because they're getting ran over by protesters and things like that. And they really don't know what this is for. They just marching because of George Floyd. I keep hearing George Floyd name pop up a lot, but the reality is it's not just about him. It's about Breonna Taylor. It's about Mike Brown. It's about all the other people that Tamir Rice. All these black people that have been manslaughtered by the hands of police or by the hands of white supremacists. So this is 400 years of this stuff going on, and I don't think everybody really understands this movement. But I'm glad something's getting brought up, and I'm glad that we have people aboard with us, and I'm glad to be able to raise these uncomfortable discussions with people because the reality is, there hasn't been an actual definition on racism until now. There's been a definition on racism, but there hasn't been like a definition so fine on racism until now. Do you get what I'm saying when I say that?
Ish.
Okay. So so I don't know what the because they had the racism word actually definition actually changed recently.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It got changed because before racism was probably something along the lines like you discriminate against a person of color. But now the definition is more in depth. Like, white silence is black violence. You know, Things like that are being put attached to the definition of racism. Saying things like all lives matters when really no lives matters until black lives matters. Those kind of things are being attached to the definition of racism. So that's what I'm saying by that. What's going on? Chi Town Shine. JB, we should have been on 10. Okay, so I'm trying to understand this, Dwayne. What are you talking about? We should have been on 10.
Me
Trying
too.
to understand this. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're getting at, but what exactly should we have been on 10 about? Should we have been on 10 on like what? Getting more justice or anything going on? I'm trying to figure that part out. So that's what I have to say in regards to that. I like the movement, but I really think that this movement, people need to really think about who they're donating for and everything. Another thing I want to say is that you can say Black Lives Matter. You can have a job that tells you Black Lives Matter. We can even put it into the context of the NFL. Say, hey, Black lives do matter now. But the fact of the matter is, the fact that they donated $250 million over the next 10 years to Black Lives Matter foundations prove that they didn't really care about Black Lives really matter. Because if they did, they would put Black people in position to actually be successful in their sport.
That part.
You know, there's a difference. There's a difference between saying you're going to support something because honestly, I'm gonna just put it out there bluntly. You know, Roger Goodell, a white man that is the NFL commissioner, is just giving the money, giving $250 million to another white man, or that owns Black Lives Matters. By the way, the Clintons own a part of that saying and all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm. We ain't
Money.
gonna talk about the Clintons though. We gonna talk about how everyone's like, oh, Hillary should have won, but it's like, did
Yeah,
y'all really want Hillary to win though? Really,
yeah,
is she really the lesser of two evils? We're not gonna talk about that though.
yeah, yeah. No, we're not. So that's all I have to say in regards to that. All right, what's going on, Jerry? What's going on, my brother? Yeah, that's my thoughts on that, on the whole Black Lives Matter movement. I could go on for days about this movement because this is so deep. But that's just what I have to say in a nutshell. What are your thoughts on it, by the way?
I'm scared.
Okay, I feel you.
No, no, but like I want to talk about this because no one ever asked me that out loud
Hmm.
ever really. I think everyone
Okay.
just assumes, and I'm just like, no, I'm an independent thinker actually.
Mhm.
I have lots of feelings towards Black Lives Matter since day one. Um, First of all, it's been confirmed that the founders of Black Lives Matter are Marxists, which I don't know if you know what a Marxist is.
Explain it to me.
So Marxism is something that is something very, very, very old. It's basically like their intention is to break down the top and like topple and destroy it in order to rebuild it. But I think that that's not the right way to do things. I think that for me, I'm a very logical person. I'm emotional, but I can think logically when like the time is right. I think the most logical way to approach situations is to think locally and not think at the head, think at the bottom.
Hmm.
So instead of asking the top person, I need this, I need that, I need that, ask your local person, hey, this is what we need for this community, and then think smaller and then smaller and smaller, and then it gets bigger, and then it starts to trickle like that.
Hmm.
Um, I think they're using Black Lives Matter as a marketing strategy, and it's kind of extremely offensive for me. Um, I think become a brand now in a kind of sickening kind of way. And it's kind of like I had a talk with someone a couple of years ago live, and I said that I don't want someone to hire me because I'm black. I don't want someone to hire me because I'm a female. I want you to hire me because I'm qualified. And if I'm not qualified, please don't hire me. Don't do it because you support diversity. If I'm not qualified, don't use me as your mascot.
I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that 100%. Um, you know, have you ever felt that way about being hired?
What? All the time. All the time. All the time. When you go to first day of training, you're the only black person there and you're like, "Oh, okay. I get it." You want to look diverse.
Yep.
Like I get it. And you can't fire me cuz like if you fire me then like now you look like you're racist until you hire someone else who looks like me. And then now you can fire me. Cool.
Yeah.
And it's sick.
Yeah.
It's so sickening. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
So I kind of want to get into that. That's real. I kind of want to get into some real stories. You know what I'm saying? Some real stories about the workplace. Can you name it? If you want to talk about it,
No, no,
can you
this is good. This is good.
can you name a story that you've had at a workplace that you kind of felt you were discriminated against or anything like
Oh,
that?
extremely.
Just give us
I
like one or two scenarios.
Oh, so I'm thinking about this one scenario very specifically, where I was working at this wine restaurant that will remain nameless, but you can probably guess. Um, but so I was working at this wine restaurant, and it was me and three other with black girls. We're black, whatever. 3 of the black girls working in the main restaurant, whatever, like that. And it was kind of like assumed that we would have to like cater and pass, and the comments that were made to us were just kind of like supposed to be accepted. Like we'd hear a lot of like, "I love your hair. Can I touch it? Oh, you're not like all the other black people. I love black people. You know, I liked Obama." And it was just kind of like you just have to take it and take it and take it, you know? And one of the issues that I have is a lot of businesses don't take into account culturalism, which I didn't think was a big deal until like most recently,
Okay.
where like there is a massive, massive difference in not only black and white culture, but in Latino culture and in Asian culture, you know? But like for me, like it's just kind of extremely uncomfortable. And I'm a bit of a troublemaker when it comes to work, where it's like if there's something wrong, I'm very vocal about it. But I find that, no offense, but I find that when I'm vocal about my issues as a woman, it's not taken as seriously as opposed to when a male says something.
I could definitely understand that.
So one of the other black girls quit. I was let go. I was fired, and then one of the other black girls stayed until she was let go.
Okay.
But everyone else is still there.
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
I'm a trouble. No, you're a troublemaker, bro. No, I am a troublemaker.
Um, you know, these stories are real. You know what I'm
They
saying?
are
These
real.
stories are
They are
real.
real.
I know how it feels for, you know, a manager to tell me and specifically that I could just fire you right now. You know what
Or
I'm saying?
something very small, very, very, very minute, right? So you know how like I don't want to sound like I'm not racist. My best friend is white, but like you know how like some girls will like they'll wear their hair short in restaurant, because I used to
Hmm.
work in a restaurant. Like obviously worked at a wine bar. Like some white girls would wear their hair short. So like I have
Hmm.
curly hair. At the time I had curly hair that was on my shoulders. They would tell me to tie my hair back, and I'm like, my hair the same shoulder length as hers. What's the big deal? Because it's more wide. Why is that big? That that would really piss me off. Or the fact that they'd be like, you need to wear bigger pants because my butt was showing off my pants. And I'm like, my pants are the same size as hers.
Right.
Like,
Um, so to piggyback what you have to say, if you guys go on Google, and you guys type professional hairstyles for men for a workplace, you're gonna see a bunch of white men and a bunch of white hairstyles.
yeah.
If you do see black men, they're very low cut.
Mm-hmm.
And if you search vice versa for a woman, you'll see white women, bangs, things like that, but you never see braids, you never see anything with African hair. It's very hard to come by. And if it is with African hair, it's just straight, you know what I'm saying? It's very whitewashed.
Yeah.
It's not there's no culture in it.
Yeah.
Um so definitely do yourselves a favor and do it because I've done it and it's what they call the standard because you know at the end of the day you know I don't understand this whole you're not looking professional thing. I may have dreads but I have clean cut. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's clean cut.
And you have to have clean
Um,
dreads. You can't have dirty dreads.
of
Like
course. Of course, I've been in the workplace where, you know, white people are allowed to have very long hair, but you know, when it came to me, my hair couldn't be any more than an inch high. So,
wow.
yeah, so I've been around those work cultures and stuff like that, and I've had, you know, managers tell me they don't care about my education and things like that. So, you know, this stuff is real, you know,
But
and
but do you think it's racism or culturism where like they're just not aware?
well. It's both because it's the racism and culturism. They're the cousin. They're the cousin. They're cousins. You know what I'm saying? They're related in a sense. Um,
Oh wow. Oh wow.
um, it's just like racism and classism. They're cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, they're both there and they're both made and they're both created to create that kind of separation. And if you really dig deep into it, you know, you know, white culture is racist. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really dig deep in culturism can be that way. So what's going on, Jazz? What's going on, Jazz? If you guys got any questions along the way, please type it in here. Let us know. All right.
You said racism and culturism are cousins, and then you said racism and
And classism, they're pretty much all in the same circle.
sorry, I write everything down.
It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, yeah, so that's the way I guess we feel about that. Let's
This
see
is
if we
so
got.
this is so crazy. Did you ever think that we were going to be talking about this?
Yeah, yeah,
When
and
when
that's the
when,
point.
when we were messaging each other, we were like, "What are we going to talk about?" And it's like, whatever. And then
Yeah, we can always have an open discussion. You know what I'm saying? I'm always good for a talk.
so
So
so what are you watching on TV now? Let's talk about something happy.
uh, so surprisingly, I'll be honest, I don't really watch TV.
Hmm.
And the reason why, I love cartoons. If I do watch TV, I like watching cartoons. And I like watching game shows actually, if I watch anything. So I watch, tons of Family Feud and
If you could be on any game show, past or present, what game show would you be on?
okay, my favorite game show of all time is Supermarket Sweep.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
What a nerd.
Hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. My favorite Supermarket Sweep. I know grocery prices. You know what I'm saying? I know how everything go. I just know that stuff. Um,
I bet you didn't run out of toilet paper.
nah, never that. Never that. Um, and then my second favorite is the Cash Cab. I would love to be in Cash Cab one day. Maybe
You
nowadays.
are a major nerd.
Yes, of course,
You would
of
never
course.
guess though, because you no offense, but you come off
Hmm.
very scary and
Hmm.
very intimidating. You
Yeah, I've
do.
heard that. I've heard that
You
before.
do, but like but you don't think that you're that way.
Oh, I know I'm not that way.
Really?
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
do
I
know that
know.
you come off that way.
Yeah,
Interesting. That's
I'm very
very
well aware of
interesting.
myself and how I am and how I look and how I can come off to people for the most part. Sometimes I catch myself, in certain things, but I'll be honest, like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I actually think. I actually think and I actually read and I get very analytical with a lot of things.
What do you think that the fact that you come off so intimidating is because you know yourself so well?
Um, I think honestly, being black plays a part in it. Not saying with you or anything, but just being black plays a part in it. And I think another one is that I don't really I don't laugh a lot. I guess sometimes a lot of times when I'm talking, I just kind of talk. I don't really I don't really put too much into it all the time. But I've heard that from some people that from quite a few people that I do come off intimidating. But you get to know me, you realize that I'm not that scary. I'm a nice guy. I'm a very deep person. So
But I also think that intelligence intimidates people a lot.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. And
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that my mind does scare them off, a little bit. And but I have to take pride in what I am, and I'm not going to shortchange myself or shortchange my knowledge for anyone. Because at the end of the day, knowledge and intelligence is power. I wouldn't be in the position I am today if I didn't have that. I'm not going to talk about my salary, but I get paid pretty well for what I do. And that's because I take pride in being sharp and being intelligent. Um, it's not it's not easy to really learn, but it's just something I always took pride in. I got 3 degrees, went to school.
But this is where I disagree with you.
Uh-huh.
It is easy to learn. It's all about a willingness to learn.
Yes, yes, yes. I can agree with that too. I can definitely agree with that. Some people don't have the willingness to learn.
Yeah.
Um, you know, uh, but the reason why I said it's not an easy thing to do because everybody's mind I feel is different. I don't feel like everyone's mind is capable of doing everything. I feel like, my mind, right? And let's just take Dwayne's mind or Joe's mind. Although we may agree on a lot of things, we still think different in certain kind of ways. And I'm not trying to say they're not intelligent. They're just intelligent in their own ways, and I'm intelligent in my own way. So I feel like everybody's actually intelligent. I just feel like it depends on what aspect they're intelligent in. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Me, I'm very technical.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of people say about me, especially like managers and stuff at work. They say I'm very technical. I'm not sure what that really means, but it's definitely not the kind of thing I describe to a lot of people.
No, I think that you're very logical.
Okay.
Because you know how they say that we're emotional beings, we're emotional creatures, so we react out of emotion. And
Yeah.
what I've been trying to figure out for the past couple of years of my life is to how do I detach from that emotion and think out of
Hmm.
logic, you know?
Okay.
B- And I'm still trying to figure that part out, but I think that you've nailed it. You've
Okay.
you've nailed the fact that like this talking about the sorry to circle back to the beginning,
Hmm.
but how you talked about the Will and Jada situation, you talked about on an emotional level, but you were still logical about it. You were like, this is morals, this is right and wrong, and what they're
Hmm.
doing is toxic and it's wrong.
Yeah.
You didn't take it personally. You didn't swallow it. You were like, this is like I don't your brain is just strange in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your
Thank
brain
you.
is just like I don't know how you did that, but when you write your book, I'll be the
Yeah.
first one to buy it because
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that part out of how to marry emotion with logic, you
Yeah.
know, because I've tried to do that, but like for some reason people think that I've
I'm.
I had a manager tell me that like I act like a robot, and I'm like I'm literally here to just get a paycheck. Is
Yeah.
that am I doing a bad job? No. So what am I doing wrong? Why are you chastising me for doing a good job because I don't want to bond with my coworkers? Sorry,
Right.
like I didn't come here to make best friends. I came here to make money and make you guys money. I'm doing that. So why am I being chastised?
No, I could definitely agree with that, and JB, me and JB have spoken about these kind of things. I've been chastised as a worker in those kind of situations where I do marketing for a living.
So,
Go
like,
ahead.
what do you do when they say that?
So I just let them know that I have family obligations and things like that outside of work, and if what's going on, everybody. If you guys got any questions or anything, let us know. Um, so the way I handle that is I just let them know like I have family obligations and everything, and I would willingly eat that if I went to the interview and knew that. If you hire me and then want me to go and have beers with you guys all the time after lunch, I'm sorry, I just have to kind of keep it this, and I have obligations and other things I have to take care of outside of work. I want to come and grab a book and let you know what got me started on the way I think. By the way, so I'm
Okay.
gonna grab a book and I'm gonna show it to the. I think we only have like 7 minutes left because it only lasts like an hour, right?
Oh no. Okay.
All right. Look, give me one sec. I just want to show this book real quick.
This is some good stuff, y'all. I hope y'all are taking notes right now. This is the the everyday heroes table talk. I think you guys should definitely rebrand for sure. Rebrand the everyday heroes table talk.
We will discuss that. We kind of have like a everyday heroes roundtable or something like that. Um, so that's a part. That's like a segment we're working on in our podcast. So definitely, it's an idea. So let's go ahead. I'm coming back right now. So this is a book I read over 10 years ago. Um, it is called More Reasons
Okay.
by Charles K. Fink. Okay, Moral Reasons by Charles K. Fink. I've had this book for maybe 7 years or 10 years, something like that. Um, get this book. It's about $25 on Amazon, but if you get a used one, it just has some highlight marks and stuff in it. It'll be like $8. So I bought the used one again, to kind of refresh my memory on things. But this is what got me started on a deep level of thinking, of the way I have. If it wasn't for this book, I wouldn't have learned as much as I have. Because if you really read this book, you learn who you are. There's about 5 personality traits out there, and you will learn who you are, and you will learn how to use that to your advantage, and learn how to control that and manipulate that in situations that you need to. So definitely read that book. JB says, Ashley, we got to talk about that. What did um oh
Bro,
the uh
if you want to go to the red table talk, we'll go to the red table talk, bro. I don't care.
that might be a thing. That definitely might be a thing. So I think both of these things are good. I think IG lasts for an hour. So I guess we'll get into some closing comments overall.
This was so
Um,
good though.
yeah, I
Wow.
appreciate that.
This was so. Ah. I think we
Appreciate
were,
that.
we were we were talking about this, and I was like, if it's a good conversation, time will fly. And
Yeah.
like, I can't believe it's already been an hour. Like, geez,
Yeah.
Louise. So,
um. mhm.
so do you have any closing thoughts, opinions about anything?
As a nation, I kind of like where we're going and where we're headed. But at the end of the day, we have to actually take action and not just say things. And everybody, you know what I'm saying? Follow Everyday Heroes, follow Ashley Collins or the Aunt of Dragons on IG. Follow me, real name Wynton, that's on here right now on IG. Follow me on the Facebook page. Follow Everyday Heroes on Facebook. Follow JB Written on Everyday Heroes. Follow him on Facebook as well. Follow him on IG as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I definitely appreciate all the questions. It's a great show. So that's all I got to say in regards to that. Any closing
Do you
comments
do
from
you
you?
do you have any advice for someone who's trying to start a podcast, a vlog, like any advice for them?
Get an idea and just understand what you're getting yourself into. And
Mhm.
honestly, comments, ignore them. Don't try to fight
Mhm.
people like that. I'm not saying don't entertain or don't try to respond back to anything on the comment section, but just try to, not take it to heart if they're saying something about you. Because the hardest thing, to be honest, is to really take some criticism, even if it isn't really constructive criticism. It's really hard to take that sometimes, and feelings can get hurt. But don't take it to heart. Just take the bad out of it and try to take whatever is good out of that and apply it.
Mhm.
So that's the only tips I really got about that.
Word, word. This was so good. This was so nourishing. I'm
Yes.
so happy that we did this. I'm gonna sleep so peacefully tonight. Hopefully. Hopefully.
Hey,
I
hey, well,
thank you for blessing me with this conversation, because
yeah,
I
no
feel
problem.
like I don't know, with this whole quarantine, like I don't know, like I feel, what's the word that I'm looking for? Dumb.
Hmm.
Like I can listen to podcast after podcast or read book after book, but I'm like, I want to talk to someone about these thoughts.
Yeah.
So thank you for allowing me to get these thoughts outside of my brain.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. And thank you for coming up with the idea and reaching out and everything. And I definitely hope to collab with you in the future.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All
All
right.
right. Well, this is Everyday Heroes with Ashley Collins and the Aunt of Dragons, and we are signing out.